Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Ebolomo Oguntoye. President Muhammadu Buhari has exempted the Governing Council of Federal Universities from the recently announced dissolution of boards of federal government parastatals and agencies. The exception, according to the presidency, is a temporary move to ensure that the institutions continue to run without any issues. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. It said all vice-chancellors of federal universities have been duly informed of the exemption by the head of the civil service of the Federation, Danladi Kifasi. Some senators have hailed the appointment of key members of the Senate Unity Forum as chairman of sensitive committees. They described the move as signs of readiness by Senate President Bukola Saraki to adopt a non-partisan approach in constituting committees. Senators Aliyu Abdullahi, Larry Tedrisho and Peter Nwaboshi said in a joint statement in Abuja that this is reflected in the decision to hand the chairmanship of two of the influential committees that have so far been named to members of the Unity Forum. They cited the appointment of Senator Babajide Omowurare, Osun East, as chairman of the powerful Committee on Rules and Business, which they described as the engine room of the Senate. The senators also pointed out the choice of Senator Barnabas Gemade as chairman of the other committee on review of state of the roads and areas suffering from environmental degradation, despite being the arrowhead of the Unity Forum. The lawmakers added that contrary to speculations in some quarters, there are signs that the present Senate under the leadership of Saraki will play positive roles in helping the Buhari administration eliminate insecurity, youth unemployment, corruption and economic stagnation in the country. One of the 81 senators who passed a vote of confidence on Senate President Bukola Saraki says he and his colleagues decided to back him in national interest. Kabiru Gaya has no regret about his action and insisted that he is not in the Senate to push a personal agenda. Gaya, who initially did not support Saraki, told journalists in Abuja that it was time to forge ahead with the party's change agenda.
Whatever way the thing happens, we should try to be united and now assist the Buhari administration. Because if we are fighting in the Senate, there is no way Buhari can do his job well because we are his immediate constituency. He relates to us, like now the appointment of the service chiefs. After maybe next month you come up with appointment of ministers. Either next time you come up with a bill. So if we are fighting, this can't work. So I'm appealing to all my colleagues in the Senate to unite ourselves and move forward. I think there is no basis of which fighting will help us. Position has been given is done by God. If God has never destined this man to be the leader of the Senate, the president of the Senate, he wouldn't be. So be it that he's there now, let us cooperate and work with him and let us move forward. Because we came with the high hopes. Nigerians need this change. Nigerians have high expectations of President Buhari. Therefore, we should not be fighting. We should work together. 2 months we are at the Senate, we are trying to sort ourselves out. Now that it is, it's not 100%, let's say 80% okay. Now I'm appealing to all our elders within the APC to close this round and let's move forward. I think that we cannot continue because Nigerians will not be happy with us if we continue fighting when there are a lot of crises on our hands.
A federal lawmaker representing Akure North South constituency in the House of Representatives wants the police to do more to stop incessant kidnapping in Akure and Ado-Ekiti. Ajishafe Olowokere told CoreTV News in Abuja that the rise in activities of kidnappers is creating tension and worry among residents of these areas. He also suggested that the crackdown on perpetrators be extended to other parts of the country where the act is worrisome.
We want these activities of the kidnappers to be curtailed, to be checked before, it turn out to be another thing. So my interest, and that is why we even mention names of both prominent and, like I said it, not too prominent people that have been kidnapped. And most times, these kidnappers always raise or demand for ransom, of which many of the families of those people that have been victims could not even imagine or raise. And people in Ondo State and Ekiti have said could no longer sleep with their two eyes closed. And people now, are afraid even to engage themselves in their daily activities.
Two communities in Jos, Plateau State, Jotes and Gashish in Tudunwada area have been cut off from the rest of the city as the only access road is now in a bad state as a result of rainfall. The link bridge leading to the highway is also not accessible. However, the residents of the areas are calling for government's quick intervention to put adequate measures in place to prevent any further disaster.
Now that the rains are back, several communities in Plateau State are faced with the problems of flooding and other hazard of a poor drainage system. Plateau State was among one of the worst hit in 2012 as a result of flooding which swept through many cities in Nigeria. Residents of Plateau State are living in perpetual fear over a repeat of 2012 events. They are calling for intervention and a quick fix solution to the damaged roads. Speaking with some residents of the area, they decried government abandonment and call on spirited individuals to come to the raid.
This place has been here more than 10 years, as my mothers have said, and this is a community effort that as you can see. And anytime that this rain is here, we can spend more than 5 to 4 hours before the rain got off, then we cross. So we're appealing to the new coming government, if they can do something about it, we appreciate it.
How long has it been like this?
So go to 1 hour 30 minutes.
Wow. And it's just going down bit by bit.
Yes, sir.
Whenever it's up like this, what do you people do?
We used to stay here for a long time before it's up.
This resident of the community laments the bad state of the road. She therefore called on the government to take urgent steps to repair the access road. According to her, it will be difficult to access the city from the community.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it at all because we've been passing through this for years, year in, year out. You can see, you can imagine if there's an emergency, what would we want to do? If government will help us at least, even if they will not construct the road, let them just make a local bridge across this place.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. Take a break and return with more reports. Stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land. They'll be strong man. You don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Thank you for being there with us. And for more on CoreTV News, you can visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. On YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV with a space, then news. Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has raised alarm over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrests of its members by the PDP-led government. The party, however, blamed the state police commissioner for being used as a political tool in Ekiti. Our correspondent Rashid has the rest of the story.
The arrest of Rotimi Olabiwonu, otherwise known as Mentilo, a strong member of the All Progressives Congress and former chairman of the Road Transport Union, has raised dust between the Ekiti State government and the All Progressives Congress. The magistrate court sitting in Ado-Ekiti has reserved ruling on the bail application of Mentilo.
We have canvassed a matter before the court, and the state had responded. So we are of the opinion that everything is left for the court to make a pronouncement.
But the former governor and deputy national chairman of the APC, Segun Oni, he accused the Ekiti State Police Command of complicity in the arrest of APC members in the state.
They are clamping our people into prison under very flimsy excuses, and I want to tell the commissioner of police should realize that Nigeria did not sign for continuity of impunity, which is still going on here. And I hope it will not lead us to a situation where people like us will come on the street with people one day to challenge the morality behind him. That would be an invitation to public chaos. The worst he can do then is to mow all of us down and kill us, and other people will take over from us.
While Segun Oni opines that the alleged muzzle-up is consequent upon the politics of the state, the former state governor is however optimistic that his party, APC, will rule the state in the next governorship election.
I don't know whether he's going to wait until 2018 or before 2018. That's not my concern. My belief is that whenever we are putting the next person in Okebareke, by God's grace, that will be an APC state face.
Observers are of the view that the People's Democratic Party in the state and All Progressives Congress are upping their game and scheming ahead the next political dispensation. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Governors elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress have started strategizing ahead of governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states later in the year. The governors held a meeting in Abuja, which ended in the early hours of Friday, and reserved to work for the success of the party's candidates in the two states. At least 14 APC governors attended the meeting at the Imo State Governor's Lodge in Abuja.
Gentlemen of the press, we met and we deliberated on a lot of issues. One is that we have resolved to strengthen our party, to prepare for the forthcoming elections, especially the one of Kogi and Bayelsa. We also are very happy with the developments in the National Assembly, as peace is gradually returning to the National Assembly. So we are very happy, and what has taken place in the Federal House will soon take place in the Senate. So we are very happy. I will resolve to support the party and make our party bigger and much bigger than it is now. And our doors are open to welcome interested parties to join us in building the Nigeria of our dream and aspirations.
The multinational Joint Task Force now has a new leader following the appointment of Major General Tukur Buratai as Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff. Major General Ilyasu Abba formally took over the leadership of the body at a brief ceremony at the Army headquarters. The new MNJTF commander said the task of defeating Boko Haram is not insurmountable, but demanded robust intelligence, logistics supply, and administration to enable troops rout insurgents in the sub-region. He argued that if the three basic requirements were met, he and his team had the capacity to defeat Boko Haram in the area. Buratai expressed confidence in the ability of Abba to lead the MNJTF and noted that several international organizations had been making donations towards the operationalization of the task force. The federal government is on the list of individuals and groups that are yet to redeem their pledge to the Victim Support Fund set up by the Jonathan administration. It is owing 5 billion naira, but President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to pay up. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on the Fund, Theophilus Danjuma, disclosed these to State House correspondents shortly after a closed-door session with the president.
We were launched during the fundraising that took place a year ago. About the total amount of money that was pledged by various contributors was slightly more than 50 billion naira. Of this amount, only 23 billion naira has so far been redeemed. So there is a lot of money out there still to be recovered. Of the organizations and individuals that have not fulfilled their pledge, the federal government is one. We are expecting 5 billion naira from federal government. And the president today promised to honor the pledge of the federal government. We will plead with them quietly, but we may also resort to naming and shaming those who have not honored their pledge.
A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed a suit challenging the People's Democratic Party governorship primaries that produced the Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade. An aspirant in the PDP primaries, Joe Agi, had approached the court asking it to nullify the governorship election on the grounds that Ayade presented a false declaration of age certificate to INEC. Delivering judgment on the suit, Justice Abdul Kafarati held that the plaintiff failed to furnish the court with enough documents to prove his allegation. He therefore dismissed the suit for lack of merit.
Clearly shown to the public and to the world that this matter, the court has no jurisdiction, number one, that the matter is a pre-election matter and that is an internal affair of the party. So, number two, that the totality of the arguments that the plaintiff brought, was faulty and have no grounds, and that the court have judiciously dismissed the case.
The sitting governor did not pay his dues, membership dues to PDP. And as PDP, we came and said he paid to us, and we cleared him to contest the primary after being satisfied that he has paid all his dues and that he's an obedient member of the party who has complied with all the requirements. And we argue that in any event, the issue of payment of membership dues is internal to the party. The courts do not have jurisdiction to dabble into such affairs. So if the parties have said, fine, we are satisfied with what a candidate has done, and he has paid his dues to us, and we are okay, we want to allow him to contest the primary, that's fine now. It's not for the court to dabble into such issues and start making findings.
The Court of Appeal has set aside the decision of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal in Kogi State to strike out a case filed by Senator Smart Adeyemi of the People's Democratic Party against the election of Senator Dino Melaye of the All Progressives Congress. Delivering judgment in the appeal, Justice Mohammed Adume held that the tribunal was wrong in striking out Adeyemi's petition on technicalities instead of on substantial justice. Justice Adume also ordered that the matter be returned to the tribunal for retrial. The appellate court further said the tribunal's position that a petition was not filed within the time frame allowed by law was wrong.
To the tribunal for expeditious disposal of the matter, and in a different panel, different from the one that considered the motion in the first place. The Court of Appeal found a lot of irregularity in the filing and service of the reply, which they earlier contended was served on the petitioner on the 13th day of May 2015, and affirmed that it was served on 14 May 2015 as the position of the petitioner at the lower court, at the tribunal.
We'll take yet another break and return with other stories from outside Nigeria.
Is it what crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Five bodies with their hands bound and some with apparent signs of torture were found in a home in Mexico City. The bodies were found Friday night in a home in a middle-class area after a call from neighbors, said an official from the city prosecutor's office. Police said the victims were 3 women and 2 men. Their hands were tied with tape and some showed signs of torture. Their identities were not released, nor was there any immediate word on what the motive of the killings might be. Mexico is enduring a nightmare of drug-related violence that has left more than 100,000 people dead and 22,000 missing since 2006, when the government deployed the military to fight the country's powerful drug cartels. When bodies with signs of torture are found, authorities often suspect the deaths stem from the settling of scores between rival gangs, mainly in states in northern of Mexico. Severe flooding across Myanmar has hampered rescue efforts as thousands sheltered at monasteries after rising waters triggered by torrential rains killed at least 27 people. Thein Sein, Myanmar's president, headed to devastated rural regions where a state of emergency was declared after the deadly monsoon rains displaced tens of thousands of people, flooded swaths of paddy fields, and prompted fears of dams collapsing. Sein was due to arrive on Saturday at a military base in Sanghain Division, a major rice-growing area where soldiers are coordinating a relief effort after a month of rain overall, but 2 of Myanmar's 14 states. Heavy monsoon rain has battered vast swaths of the country in recent weeks, decimating tens of thousands of homes and fields and leaving people stranded in remote villages in a disaster, testing the government's limited relief operations. And that's it on this hour. Join us again at 3 for more. Many thanks for watching. I am Ipulomo Obupe.